Hello and welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Now We Know podcast. And it is May. It is May 3rd to be exact, which means it's the first Friday in May. And I'm very glad to be welcoming back Brian Flynn from Super7 on this special month for
Special.
a first Friday, right? Because Super7 is celebrating your 23rd birthday this month, right?
It's yes, 23rd birthday. There's nothing anniversary wise that comes to mind with that. Just sort of an awkward year. You're an adult, but do you really have your own place yet? You're still renting.
That
It's a
that
little,
shine that shine of legally partying is kind of a little bit in the rear view at
yeah,
this point. You're
you're,
used to it.
yeah, you're starting to be like, what's the future look like? Yeah, that's the awkward young 20s, maybe.
Well,
This
speaking
is
of
when we're
awkward,
really good looking, I suppose, maybe.
well, I was going to say, speaking of awkward, I will spare everyone from singing happy birthday or anything of the like, but it looks like you guys have some things planned that you'll be announcing throughout the month to help celebrate the
Yeah,
23rd.
we're just gonna have some fun with it. We used to throw a bit more of a party back in May every year, going back 6 or 7 years ago for a decade probably, because we're like, we're still here. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we just wanted to kind of get to it. We didn't get to everything we wanted to do this year, but that just means next year is going to be bigger and better.
Yeah.
But 2026, we're going to have to go off
Yeah.
the 25 years.
Wow. 25. You can what do you still have to be 25 to rent a car? I don't know, but yeah,
Yes, you
Super
do.
7 can drive a rental car at that point then.
When I graduated college at 23 and had my first design job in 23, and I'd worked at Fossil for 15 months when I went to interview with Nike, and I landed, got to the airport at 9 o'clock at night, went to the rental car counter and I was still 24,
Ah,
and they were like, "We can't rent you a car." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Finally, after like half an hour, they finally were like, "All right, we'll rent you the car."
24 and like 55, 57ths of a year is close enough or
No,
what?
no, I was 24 and a half.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I had 6 months to go. But it was hilarious where it would have never even crossed my mind. What do you mean I can't rent a car?
Yeah, I don't think I
I have a
even knew that
driver's
you had to
license and a
be.
credit card. What else do you want?
Yeah, I didn't think I knew at the time when I was 25 that you had to be 25 to rent a car. I think I learned that well after that. So, oh, well,
Anyways, we've
anyways.
gone straight into stuff no one cares about that's watching this podcast.
Well, I was going to say it's a month of celebration, but because May lands within really the time when you're probably in the glide path for landing for San Diego Comic Con and other things like Joe Fest and 5 Points that was
It's
just
all coming
announced that
up
you
quick.
guys will be there. You got to be busy during your birthday month, I take it.
Yes, there's a lot coming up. And yes, you are correct. Things, we're already sweating about things that have or haven't left the factory so that they're landing here in late June, early July, so they can be on trucks to go to San Diego. Like we are well in the throes of San Diego Comic-Con and all the other convention stuff.
It feels a lot more like not official, but like it's close because had to do the make sure your shipping address is up to date so your badges get to you. Hotels locked down now, and it's like every year you kind of for me I kind of hit that trough of oh yeah San Diego it's coming it'll be here, but now it's like back on that upswing and it's like feeling like the first time again. It's getting excited, so it happens every year. So.
And not to belabor the point to anybody listening, I'm not trying to make you feel less of it, but please come to San Diego. It's phenomenal.
It's a lot of fun.
It's not like any other convention,
Yeah.
and you will have a great time, even if you can't get in all the days. There's so much to do outside and everything else. It's wonderful fun, and you should come hang out with all of us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it this year for a lot of reasons, but one is, still doing a lot of the normal stuff, but just I feel like I'm going to be taking it a little easier this year. So that feels good too. Just like enjoy stuff, not just go and see something because you got to see it, get the pictures taken, and then you're off to somewhere else. Like,
The race
enjoy
to be
it while
first
you're
online.
there. Yeah, it's like I find myself enjoying like stuff that's actually shown off. I have to enjoy it more after the show in the past
Hmm.
by looking at pictures, but not this year. I'm going to stand and gawk for a while in some
Oh,
places.
there you go. This
Yeah.
is your New Year's resolution, your new
Yeah.
comic resolution.
Yeah, that's a resolution I can handle and actually, hopefully achieve. But I'm positive you guys will be officially announcing some things on the roll up to San Diego as well. And I
Yeah, I
bet
mean,
surprised by some things and maybe some other things, we'll be like, oh, there it is.
yeah, stuff gets out there. Some of it, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. You never know. That's part of the gamemanship, I guess, getting ready for San Diego Comic-Con. Look what got leaked. You sure that's our render? You sure that's not somebody else's render?
So
You know,
so from your side, I mean, the doors open on preview night and people come in and are actually seeing something maybe for the first time. Is it throw your arms up in the air that it's like we made it, we did it, we got all the way to the show without something sneaking out there because you're right, stuff gets out there so often these days.
generally speaking, I don't know that we necessarily have anything that you haven't heard or seen. Like the week or two leading up to it,
Hmm.
may not have heard or seen it, but usually there's usually not anything where we're springing something on you at the booth,
Yeah.
unless it's a preview for something that's upcoming.
Hmm.
Like it might be a test shot, it might be some of that, or maybe an announcement of a license or something. That's something we might hold until the doors open. But anything that's going to be for sale,
Yeah.
people have to budget. So I got to let you know that it's there and I want you to come to the booth and pick it up. So I'm not keeping that stuff back, but generally it's a week or two out that we really, 2 weeks out is when we really want to make sure that everybody knows everything that we've got.
No, and you said have to get at the booth, but also I'm assuming that there will be some stuff at possible pop-ups and other things this year
You
if
know,
if we
there, there's
know.
there's there's definitely some, I think everybody at this point knows we're going to have a pop-up.
Hmm.
So what is it and what's it, when, where, who, when, where, why, and how, the 5 Ws,
Yeah.
right? Uh, yeah, all of that to be revealed.
Yeah. I remember fondly last year us on preview night walking over to the Joe pop-up and it was being guarded by Cobra troopers and it literally took the men from the top being like, we're going in. So,
Now, and those guys that helped out on the GI Joe pop-up were phenomenal. They
yeah.
were super nice. They were super helpful. They did a great job interacting with the crowd, and just being in character and having fun with it. They were really great. They were
Yeah.
really great.
Well, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, we'll probably have more to talk about in the next, month or two as far as these goes. We'll get a couple more in hopefully before.
Yeah, we only have 2 more till then, so we'll
Uh,
probably have to start. Yeah, by the July one, obviously we'll know a lot about that. I don't know what I'll have to look and see what in June what they want when they're going to start talking about it all. I don't know.
yeah.
They I say they, like, people on my team have a master plan how you roll it out. Like, you don't just come out and say, "Will you marry me?" We got to meet, we got to send some pictures, we got to
Pick the right
look at each other
spots.
longingly, have a couple casual get-togethers, then a date, and another date, and a follow-up. They got a whole roadmap of how they want to do this.
That's good. That's good. It's good to have a schedule. And honestly, I've gotten to the point that I like being surprised by, announcements or seeing stuff for the first time at like the shows and whatnot. It's like that's almost more fun to me nowadays because it's like I
That's
wasn't
because we're
expecting that. And
old.
I'm glad I know
That's because we're old. We don't peek at our presents anymore.
that's
You're like, if I don't already know what it is because you asked me or I was there, like, I'd like to be surprised. I am completely fine with not knowing what's in that box and
that
waiting till the 25th. That's fun.
And, I married the opposite of that because like my wife will literally buy me a Christmas present in October and it'll be like 2 days later and she'll be like, "You want to know what it is? You want to know what it is?"
Oh,
No, I
see,
don't.
I'm that way sometimes, but not. It depends on what it is. If it's something where I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna melt your brain, then it gets very hard for me to hold it in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, lots of cool stuff that will be announced and that we will be seeing, and
Always
how we like to have our surprises and announcements delivered at a certain age. As those are all coming in the next couple of months, but that's not to take the edge off of things that are arriving now and things that are going to be arriving soon
We've
because
been shipping tons of stuff, and there's tons of stuff still coming. It's amazing how much stuff has been flowing out.
I was going to ask you if the Bay Area has run out of cardboard boxes at this point with everything that you guys have been shipping as of late. So much stuff, and more stuff, lots of stuff arriving between now and San Diego. So we'll touch on some of that stuff. But I like it when something arrives recently before we talk, not like the day after.
Yeah.
And I actually was able to get my new Simpsons Series 4 just a few days ago, and I've only opened one so far, which is King Size Homer. This is one of my favorite Homer looks and variations, all the way going back to like older toy lines and whatnot. But it I've collected this line from the start. It still amazes me how large these figures are, and it's just this one. This one is a really fun way to kind of, I guess I'll say, cap things off for now. You know?
Yeah, yeah. No, king size Homer. The whole line turned out great.
Yeah.
We're having some issues with Devil Flanders.
Hmm.
It's come
I
up.
haven't
I
opened
don't.
mine yet.
Some the legs are popping off some of them, which is terrible. Uh, you know, it was a surprise to us. We went through and checked all the extra ones that we had at the warehouse, and we're finding it about to be a 20% defective rate, which is not good, but it's very surprising because you'll have one that's fine and the next one won't be, and the next one will be fine. I I can't see the rhyme or reason for it. So far, we've only had about 8 to 10 people mail in and say that theirs is defective. There's been a couple reviews online where people have gotten defective ones. So it has something to do with the insert that goes into the leg that snaps onto the ball joint and
Hmm.
not the ball, but to the joint. And then uh, there's something going on there, and I'm not sure what it is. The only thing I can attribute it to right now is the plastic shrinkage rate,
Hmm.
that there's some sort of variable that was happening in there where some of them are shrinking to the correct size and some of them are not and staying slightly larger. Because all this stuff, when you pull it out of the mold, if we haven't talked about it, like all of it has a shrink rate. Usually it's about 4%.
Hmm.
Usually have about 4% from wax or mold to actual, and then another 4% from actual to finished production when you inject it. Um, there's got to be something going on there. And, right now there's no rhyme or reason that we can figure out. Like, is it like this was injected on a Tuesday and this was injected on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Did the mix of the plastic slightly change partway through? Did they have to sub in material? I don't know what it is, but if anybody listening, if your Devil Flanders is in any way not holding together correctly, uh, please email customer care at super7.com and we will fix it, replace it, whatever we need to do to make it right because it's supposed to come out right. So it's unfortunate that, this wave is so good and, have it be pausing right now and then to have one of those figures not be perfect for everyone is just sort of a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, you need your unlikely but wonderful mashup of Ned Flanders and the Devil, to stand tall or on, well, on bent knee, so I guess. But yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, that's interesting. Like I said, I have not opened King Size Homer is the only one that I've opened because I've been busy this week. But we'll have to give it a look and see. But I appreciate you talking about it and letting everybody know to contact customer care if they're having issues.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you pay for a figure, it should arrive correctly and work like it's supposed to. And it looks like, like I said, that a chunk of these are not. And so if you've got one of the ones that isn't, we'll fix it. Just like, we did, however many years ago with Triclops's head or whatever.
Hmm.
Like, we'll fix and replace it. Like, that's the point. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be right.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, cool. That's great. And like I said, I've really enjoyed the Simpsons line. So we'll see where the future takes us. But I appreciate Moo Moo Homer with his reaching broom to be in this fourth series because he feels like a desk figure, not a shelf figure. It's like I think I need to have this one like at
Is that his
hand,
work?
work desk. Yeah, it works that way. Well, so that's newly arrived, but also coming soon because I've gotten some emails on it and they are on the schedule for this month. We're going to be getting some new Thundercats and some shiny SilverHawks delivered this month.
Yes. Like I said, the hits never stop. But I
Yeah.
mean, if you will, just in this month, it'll be Simpsons dropping, it'll be Thundercats dropping, Silverhawks dropping. I think Conan just went out the door.
I've got a Conan that is I think on the way with the throne. Yeah.
Yep, with the throne. Czarface just landed for people at the end of last month. It's just all coming. It's
Yeah.
all landing.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's a,
Thundercats Series 8's a cool one because we get another core cat with
get the
Wily Kid.
last cat.
Yeah, but we also get our first Lunatic. So I know a lot of people are very excited about starting that little subgroup as well. And Thundercats is it keeps trucking, and I'm enjoying it and getting characters that I've never had before. It's
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff in the future for Thundercats too. I mean, there's some really cool things that we're working on.
Yeah,
Uh,
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, hopefully those will be arriving, maybe in time for the next time we have a chat. But I had somebody call out to me right after we talked last time because we mentioned Thundercats, and they wanted me to ask you about possible future Thundercats as far as reaction goes as well, because it's been a minute since we've had some reaction Thundercats.
It's been a minute. There are more reaction Thundercats coming. There, it's just I think I'm trying to figure out, because there's always with everybody, there's certain ways we can talk about stuff. I mean, long story short is, we're making slightly less reaction figures per year in terms of SKU count. And so everything gets rebalanced and rejiggered. But then I have to marry my product count up with a lot of times licensor key moments, key initiatives, things like that.
Hmm.
So prioritization isn't always like, oh, what's been the longest since we did the last wave? We've got to get the next wave out. It might be, well, I can't get that out because this has to come out to meet with this event, with this marketing moment, with this licensor initiative, any number of these other things. So it becomes this sort of 3D Sudoku that you have to work on where everything is. And while it has been a while on Thundercats, it's not that we're not trying to get to them. It's just, unfortunately, the reaction gets pushed in the way that, like, where I'm going with SKUs or different things that I need to do. It's like I'm not going to be pushing the ultimates. I want to make sure those stay on track. So
Hmm.
if I've got to make some room, it's going to happen at the reaction level.
Yeah.
Makes any sense.
No, it
I
it
know
does.
that's not the answer this person wants to hear, but we've got a bunch more sculpted. Just when do they come out? I don't know exactly yet.
Oh, Good. Good. Well, no, that's good to hear. And I mean, that's understandable and the logic makes sense because you handle releases of reaction very differently than ultimates. It's ultimates are pre-order based, reaction aren't really that way at a consumer level, right? So it seems like there's more freedom to be able to, have fluidity with the release of those than say a planned ultimates line, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate the intel on Thundercats as far as reaction goes and getting we may have two new waves shipped by the time we talk again because I think Series 9 is like right hot on the heels of Series 8 as far as shipping goes. I think they're a
Yeah,
month apart maybe at
yeah.
most. So that's
Moving the merch. Moving the
that's
merch. Come
exciting.
on.
Yeah. Thundercats goes hand in hand with Silverhawks. Of course, mentioned the shiny Silverhawks that will be coming, and I'm trying not to like annoy your team too much about syncing up on an unboxing of those vac metal ones because I'm excited for those and I think it's going to be cool to do a little preview of those. So hopefully we'll be rolling with that soon. But you had a surprise. We talked about surprises earlier.
Oh,
A
I was like, I had a
surprise
surprise.
drop. A
I had a
surprise
surprise. I was
drop
like, oh yes, we do.
that I did not get out there ahead of it at all, which I think is really awesome. And I'm gonna pull it up right at the source right now because
Big Bad Toy Store.
Darkbird is
Hmm.
coming to the line
Yeah.
via Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So talk about this one a little bit. This is exciting and very much unlooked for, I have to say.
Yeah. Well, it's a character that we talked about a bunch, and
Hmm.
then obviously, maybe not obviously, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but this is a big anniversary moment for Big Bad Toy Store. And so Joel at Big Bad and that team came to us and said, we want to have something special for our anniversary. We really want something Silverhawks. What can we do? And we're like, we've got a bunch of stuff in the works, but part of that's part of the core plan. And and Joel was just we showed him a couple different things, and he was just like, Darkbird. Oh yeah, we got to do Darkbird. So it's exclusive to Joel as sort of, I hate to say a thank you, but that's part of it is a thank you for all the great stuff he's done for us as well as the whole collecting community. So when they said, hey, we want something for our anniversary, of course we're going to be like, we're going to go out of our way to make sure and help out. So Darkbird was what they wanted. And so we helped. Yes, I say what they wanted. We showed them options, and that's the
Hmm.
one they were like, yes, Darkbird. So
Well,
Darkbird for Big Bad's anniversary. They're wonderful people over there at Big Bad Toy Store.
yeah, and this is a great combination for a store exclusive for me because I enjoy getting, unique characters, especially those that have maybe never been done before, but it makes sense from an exclusive standpoint because it obviously builds on some things that have come before it. So this one's exciting.
Yeah, it's that thing that we've talked about a bunch with exclusives where it's that figure that certain completists and certain collectors really want because
Hmm.
they want everything all the time, every version, every variation, and they're super into it. But if you're that person that's collecting the line and you want the core characters and that sort of, it's like this may not be a variation you need. So it's not sort of basically, like I said, it's not the core line, it's these special, more one-off moments. So I'm sure that there's somebody out there going, oh, this isn't cool enough to be a release. And it's like, well, it's not part of the wave. It's
Yeah.
not part of the general thing. This is a special thing off to the side. It's the it's the tourist overlook off the side of the freeway. You can still
Scenic
see it from the
turnaround.
freeway,
Scenic
but some
turnaround. Yeah.
people want to come off to the side of the road and take a moment to take it in.
Yeah.
So for that person, Darkbird's for you. If you just want to keep rolling, you don't need to pick up Darkbird. It's okay.
If you find yourself in outer space and you want to get shot by evil space lasers, this is the guy to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it's a great thing. And obviously, we kept it well under wraps. I'm shocked that no one found it on the back end of Big Bad because that's normally what happens. I think that
Yeah.
there's full-time people crawling just black and white text only
Yeah.
listings. There we go. And finding stuff. So the fact that it wasn't found beforehand was great there too. So we could surprise everyone with something cool.
Yeah, and it's cool to see from my vantage point as a fan and collector of this line. It's like I love SilverHawks, and it's fun to see the line having an exclusive like this, and a partner being excited about saying we want something SilverHawks and bringing it out, because that to me is a not a scientific indicator, but a good anecdotal indicator that, we out there and when we love the Silverhawks. So it's good to see more of that.
Yeah, completely. You are 100% correct. Joel wouldn't, I say Joel, Big Bad Toy Store wouldn't want it unless they were into it
Yeah.
and they had a customer for it. So they're super amped on it. That's
That's
great.
great. That's great. Well, it is available for pre-order now at bigbadtoystore.com. And finding stuff on that site is not difficult to do. So a quick typing in of Darkbird will take you to it. You guys have been sharing links to it as has Big Bad Toy Store. So definitely easy to find, and is projected to ship early next year, which keeps pretty much with the schedule of how Ultimates come. So that'll be a fun one to get not long after Copper Kid ships, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, all right. Well, excellent. So more Silverhawks close to coming out, more being solicited, exclusive, and I'm sure we'll see some new ones later on as well. So that's great to see. Another line that we often find ourselves talking about frequently on here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
And we talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates last time, and wouldn't you know it, on exactly April 30th, I had several people tweet at me, "Hey, where are the turtles? Where are the turtles?" So I thought maybe we'd get back around and talk about
Where are the turtles?
where are the turtles?
So the turtles are coming.
Huh?
They're just getting through the process and approvals and all that stuff. It's taking a little longer than we'd like. The updated date for everybody in the room, the updated date for 2003 TMNT is June 13th.
June 13th. Okay.
June
So,
13th. So, you got 5.5 weeks or
yeah,
so. So June 13th, we're going to be talking about TMNT 2003.
awesome. Awesome.
Now, now I don't know that I have not checked with my marketing team on this,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want to give there's a little maybe tease here.
Little TMNTs.
That was terribly
Horrible.
omitted all at once. Have you
Horrible.
practiced that before?
No, in fact, I was hoping I was going to say it correctly when it like jumped in my brain, and if it didn't pass through the filter saying no, don't say it, and I said it.
TMNTs. That's professional strength in a cornball but appropriate way. Like you can't it's like, God, that's so corny, but I can't argue with it. I gotta run with that. So that's
Oh,
a TMNTs.
well, don't
We need
don't
an
let that be the
annual
part of this.
graphic.
Don't let that be the part of this current conversation that you remember. I'm sure you've got something much better for us.
So in designing the 2003 Turtles, we had a lot of conversations around the 2003 Turtles.
Hmm.
Person, theoretically speaking, that is the most excited about the 2003 Turtles is, you can argue, somebody that really grew up where that was their introduction to Turtles.
Yes.
So say they were 8 in 2003. They were born in 95 or that time frame.
Hmm.
What are their expectations on figures?
Uh-huh.
Obviously, it's within the vernacular of the Ultimates. So the 2003 Turtles, unlike the other line, unlike everything else we've done within that line, the 2003 Turtles will have double jointed elbows and double jointed knees.
Wow.
Because that, if you are that kid in 2003 buying that toy, that would be sort of the that's sort of the toy you grew up on, if that makes any sense. So to not have it then feels incongruous with the core audience. So we debated a lot about it. Aesthetically, I think that there are, cons to it. We
Hmm.
all know my opinion, but what we overrode my opinion on that to what is the opinion of the person buying it. Now, there's going to be a bunch of people that come on and say, I've always said that about turtles, but I would argue with what we actually sell and the feedback that we get that trade-off is not the same as they believe it to be. But when we talked about 2003 and you talk about somebody that didn't buy toys before the year 2000, what was going to make them feel nostalgic and that this has also been leveled up a little bit? What could that be? And so in that, we felt the appropriate decision was double jointed elbows and knees. So so
Wow.
for everybody out there, that's the exciting break, the TMNTs, if you will. But that's a little scoop for you.
Wow, I'm very intrigued and looking forward to that because there are, as you said, there are pros and cons to it. I would say from a posability standpoint, you have a lot of joints and things that are already a part of, I don't want to, because the joints and things that it varies from figure to figure and line to line, but there are several joints that are already in place with ultimates that interact well with those double joints and the elbows and the knees, like rocker ankles and things like that. So I'm going to be excited to see posing and whatnot with these once they get to a stage where that's going to be able to be done.
Yeah, yeah. I think, obviously I'm opening up a can of worms for people that dislike some of the stuff we've done in the past. I think for a lot of people, that's a non-issue.
Hmm.
Uh, but it is going to open up that can of worms. But when we really started talking about what those figures needed to be for that kid that bought his first turtles in 2003, we came back to that kid needs or wants double jointed knees and elbows. And we felt that that was an appropriate place to put that in.
Okay. Well, and the thing
Not to
that's
belabor the point.
well, but at the same time, the thing that is neat, for lack of a better word, about the designs of the 2003 Turtles is that, they're very much a product of their time, but at the same time, they also feel very true to the original like TMNT designs in terms of having that they have their color coded masks, of course, but their knee pads and elbow pads and things like that, they went kind of back to the way that they were like in the original comic days, with being some of the being the same brown colors and whatnot, and a lot of like the lines and the designs and the turtles themselves reflect that too. So I can see, for those that may be a little bit older but are fans of double joints, still very much welcoming that in a 2003 format, because it does feel the 2003 stuff almost feels more real classic turtles than the 87 stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, it's all over the map. I think that, when I mess with the ones that we have, I don't sit there and go, oh my God, this articulation is limiting. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not the case, but I think that there's a knee jerk version of like double joint, or, so anyways, I've belabored it too much. Anyways, they're exciting teas. So, you'll get a little bit of a bump from the Turtles guys wanting to hear that 3 minutes of this interview and ignoring all the rest of it.
Well, that makes mid-June even more exciting, I would say, and it's going to come fast, but it might probably not fast enough for a lot of people at this point. But we'll be looking forward to it for sure, because I'm sure that you guys will have a lot of announcements, obviously, but even more offerings to hold us down between now and then. So everybody will be busy with that too, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's plenty to talk about.
All right, all right. Well, those that the Turtles one is definitely a big one, and like I said, I'm excited about stuff that's shipping, particularly Thundercats and SilverHawks. We talked about that. Another thing that I wanted to touch on because we haven't talked about it in a while is that I wanted to talk about Sesame Street because I love Sesame Street, and I've had some reactions for a little while now, and a large Super Grover as well, and Count. But I was just kind of wondering if there was a general update as far as Sesame Street goes, and how
Yeah,
things are coming along.
no, things are coming along great. There's a new wave. I see stuff way before it gets. Is it not out yet? Is wave two of Sesame Street Reaction not out yet?
I don't think it's out yet. I think it's
Well, it's
close. But
it's close. It's
yeah,
soon. Uh, and it looks awesome.
yeah.
Uh, are the line lists already out there? Are people pre-booking it? I assume it's one of those things. I'm making an
I,
assumption. Basically, any reaction figure that's coming out is, months ahead of time. You can order it on Entertainment
mhm.
Earth, Big Bad, or through Diamond. Like those things get out there and
Yeah,
they're open for order, even if they don't even have photos. So I assume everybody knows the line list
yeah.
and everything. So I mean, it's Oscars in it, Cookies in it, and
Uh, was it left? Is it Lefty that's
oh yeah,
in it? Yeah,
yeah. Would
yeah.
you buy an eight?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I know I have mine ordered through Big Bad, and it's been several months, but like you said, they kind of did their bookings without any images yet. So I think people are really excited to start to see some of that stuff. So that's exciting. Or just in general, as far as Sesame Street goes, I'm sure you guys are planning more as far as different types of products and whatnot go, right?
Yeah, there's the stuff that's that we're on right now. Supersizes came out first, followed immediately by reaction figures. There's um there's a bunch of other stuff aside from just regular line extension. There's a bunch of other Sesame Street stuff that we're working on. Most of it, not most of it, nearly all of it will be 2025 and later at this
Mhm.
point. But there's a lot of cool Sesame Street stuff coming because there's just so much history there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm excited. I'm gonna continue to keep my fingers crossed for some specific things. But the first series of reaction was so much fun. I'm having a good time. Just taking it as it comes, and be hopeful we'll get to see more and in different expressions in the
Yeah,
future.
and even with that, like you never know. Like we made Yip Yips in wave one because we love them,
Yeah.
but that ended up being the most popular, more than Bert and Ernie. And it was like, all right, then we remade some, and now we're having to remake some more. And it's like, okay, people love Yip Yips. I didn't realize it was quite like that, but it's
Well,
like that, and that's
well,
that's wonderful.
I fall into that camp. I mean, Bert and Ernie are two of my absolute favorite Sesame Street characters. I love the Count too, but I was the most excited about the Yip Yip aliens, and it's funny because one of the greatest cosplays I ever saw at San Diego were Yip Yip aliens. We were talking about Comic-Con before, and that's a part that we didn't discuss is all the cosplay and whatnot. But man, I saw two people cosplaying as the blue and pink aliens, and it was amazing. And they
See,
sounded perfect and everything.
that's the cosplay I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Something wacky, off the wall, unique, fun. If it's just another half naked girl, like
I that
there's an
year,
internet for that. I don't need to go see that at San Diego.
I don't as generally I don't ask for pictures with cosplayers, even if they're great, like something I'm very interested in because I feel like it's like I'm imposing or whatnot. But that year I got a picture with the Yip Yip aliens and with two Spaceballs because those guys were awesome too. So that was like you said, those oddball ones, those are the ones that appealed to me. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%, a hundred
Uh,
percent.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I will be waiting to see more Sesame Street stuff, and probably continue to annoy you periodically about a certain format that I think would be awesome for Sesame Street when the time might be right for that too. So,
We'll see. We'll see. One step at a time.
Oh, all right, all right. Well, we have been going for about our usual allotted time, but I wanted to give a few minutes left because, as you said, you are busy. There's a lot of stuff happening, so I wanted to make sure that if there was anything that you wanted to make sure that we, touched on or talked about this month that just possibly cannot wait until June, that we would have a chance to do it.
Um, I don't think that I have anything off the top of my head, really. We're just sort of like just cranking it out,
It's
trying to
that
make
it's
the
that
news.
time of year. We're in that it used to be post February until, July with Toy Fair and San Diego. It was like this was kind of the information was a little because
Little
we're
bit.
ramping up to the next thing. So
Yeah, I
yeah, I
mean,
get it.
there are quite a lot of things that we've got that we have not revealed yet for San Diego and things like that, and things that'll be happening later in the year. But it's still a little ways away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're gonna wait a little while. Gotta wait a little while. Next month, obviously, Joe Fest as well. That's gonna be a big show. That's gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
uh,
your first time at that show, and it's a good time to be the first time with some of the stuff you guys have planned for Joe, right?
yeah, we'll just have to see what we show up with.
Yeah, yeah, make people say, "Oh my," even maybe just
Uh,
uh, don't know.
I,
Yo, Joe.
oh, come on. You're like, I'm now the pun guy. My new job, Nick the pun guy. Here
That
you
that's when things have gone too far. Yeah. Well, of course, in the meantime, as we mentioned, lots of stuff still shipping, and so it's got to feel good to. I don't want to say start to feel caught up, but have those
We're
things
getting
be
very
more
close.
regularly
We're getting
regular, right?
very close to being ahead, actually,
Mm-hmm.
with things delivering quicker than people expected.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's moving, and like even things like Godzilla minus one
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't. It's like I was looking at test shots of that the other day, and it's supposed to deliver October, I think. We're we're gonna deliver it earlier, it seems like. Just saying, we gotta make sure it's right.
Yeah.
It's like we're really far along on some of this stuff, and then it's just making sure it's right, going into production, and then putting it on a boat. And that last bit, it's always just how long does it take on a boat? But it's like we're really moving pretty quickly on a lot of this stuff, which is really, really good.
Yeah, that's absolutely great to hear, and I think it makes the whole experience feel. I think for everybody on both sides, it just feels better when things are humming along the way that everyone is hopeful for. So that just means more cool stuff for us. But if you are an Ultimates fan, obviously you know about the Ultimates kind of tracking page at super7.com. You can check that out in the meantime, and we're not lying. There's a lot of stuff still coming out in the next couple of months, so be prepared for that. And we'll be looking forward to things as we inch closer to San Diego. But
I wanted to just double check one thing just because I can never remember exactly. Um, just 24. Yes, we are in 2024. Boom, 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 boom. Um, yeah, there's a little secret recolor coming up,
yeah,
and next month is TMNT and Thundercats 11.
ooh, Thundercats 11.
Thundercats 11.
Very much looking forward to that. It's always a good month to have Turtles and Thundercats in the same month. That'll be good.
Well, it should have been Turtles in late April.
Huh?
And have a little break before Thundercats, but you're gonna get Turtles and you're gonna get Thundercats, and it's gonna be awesome, and everybody's gonna be amped.
Well, looking forward to it. And of course, there will be more 23rd birthday festivities throughout the month of May. So keep eyes peeled for that as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, and like I said, come on down to San Diego if you can. It's going
Yeah,
to be a party. We're going to have
yeah.
a good old time. You
Um,
got you got 250,000 people wanting to talk about toys and comic books and all that fun stuff. So this is a place to meet all your new friends.
the experience is inside the hall, but also outside of it too. So it's all a part of it. It's not like any other show out there. So yeah,
It is not. It is not. And it's hard to explain that to people, but I don't want to also feel like I'm gloating to people that can't go or have not been able to go. I wish you the opportunity
yeah.
because I remember my first San Diego was 2002, I think. And I was like, I don't know, it's supposed to be a big comic book convention, but nah. And it's like, then you go and you're like, oh, this isn't like anything I've ever been to. And I've never missed one since.
Yeah, my first year was 2005, and we literally walked up to the window and bought our tickets to walk in on a Saturday.
That was a law
That
that
was a
that
long
does not exist.
no, no, which to your point, hopefully if you want to go, you have the opportunity to
Yeah.
do so and get through the logistics that are involved with being able to do so. But it'll be fun. It'll be a trip. It'll be good to see, those friends and people you only see, a couple times a year. So start like I said, on the uptick in terms of excitement now. We're very much in it. So it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah,
All
definitely. All right.
All right. Well,
Well,
thanks for joining us again,
I wish I
Brian.
had more exciting news or tidbits to share with you, but right now it's just, we're getting the donuts made here. We're
Yeah,
just knocking it out.
I think we had some cool stuff that we talked about. So hopefully a little bit for most people who tune into this. And so thank you everyone for tuning in to the Now We Know podcast. I think this is episode 5. So we're on our way and we're moving. But until next month, we'll catch everybody later. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.